I'm going to walk through the data table and sensitivity analysis specific to the Excel that we're working on today. So I know data sensitivity analysis and these data tables are a little bit tricky to walk through. So down here in A31 through D42, what we're trying to do is say, if the interest rate in the market, the nominal market rate, changes, how does that impact the price of the bond? And recall from class we talk about as interest rates rise, the price of the bond will fall, that inverse relationship. So if I click on B33, I see that it's linked automatically to cell C28, right? C28, bond price if not called. And up in C28, we're finding the present value of the bond, assuming that our interest rate here, C27, is 7%. All right, so I'm taking the information from above here, years to maturity, coupon payments, and I'm creating a present value formula to find the price of the bond. Okay, now same thing here, price if called, C33, it's saying, all right, what is the price of the bond if it's called? I'm finding the present value, again, using the information from above and a market rate of 7%. What is the present value of the bond, or what was the price be if we paid that today? Okay. Now it's really, really important here that these are formulas, okay, and that you use the variables. Because when we go down to the sensitivity analysis, we're going to say what happens if our interest rate is 0 or 2% or 4% or 6% or 8%, etc. We're testing the sensitivity of the price of a bond to an interest rate change. What happens when we change the interest rate in the market? What happens to the price of the bond? All right, so we have our formula here in C33, going back to C28, and we have our formula here if called. All right, so to create a data table, we have to go one cell to the left of our first formula. All right, so our first formula here is in B33. It's equal to C28. That's a formula. One cell to the left, A33. And I want to highlight then the entire range that we are looking at. Okay, so I highlight A33 through C42. Then I'm going to go to Data, What If Analysis, Data Table. Now, this little box pops up and it says row input cell, column input cell. So what variable are we changing in our formula, right? What are we trying to adjust? What are we testing the sensitivity of, right? And the answer there is we are testing how things change relative to interest rate or the nominal market rate. Now, does the market rate, the interest rates, show up in a row or a column, right? 33, that's a row, A is a column. Well, in this case, our difference is 0, 2, 4, 6. That is in a column. So we are adjusting or inputting numbers from a column. Okay. Now, second question is, what are we changing? Well, we're changing the interest rate. Now, going back to our formula, right, C28 and C29 are bond price if called and bond price if not called. Where do we link or where do we use interest rate in that formula? What cell is it linked to for interest rate? And in this example, we found our interest rate in C27. So I'm going to click C27 and put that in my column input cell and hit OK. And now it fills in that information. So it's telling us if the interest rate is 0, the price of the bond, if it's not called, is $2,400. Okay. Now over here in the green, I created an if function. Right? Remember from class, if the coupon rate is higher than the market rate, the bond will be called. Right? And our market rate is 7%. So if A34, if our interest rate is less than our market rate, 7, the bond will be called. Okay. If it's not, the bond will not be called. And I fill that in all the way down, and that is the information needed for this particular Excel assignment.